At the point of recording this, I have already read the whole series, but I forgot to film the intro, so we're making do. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Khushi Kishore and today we are doing another series reading vlog. The last time I did this, I did it for the Dreamland Billionaire series and you guys really seemed to like it, so I decided to pick up another series. Not completely romance this time, we have a little bit of fantasy in there. Currently the series is sort of popular on TikTok, that's where I found out about it. And people have also been talking about it when they're talking about dark romantasy. So I have decided for this video, I am gonna read the whole of the Four Horsemen series for you. We have Pestilence, we have War, then there's Famine, and finally there's Death. Before I go on here, I'm just gonna do a little bit of a shameless plug, you know, the usual. Subscribe, join the family if you like bookish content, if you like the kind of stuff I make here. We do have a good time here, so join us, have fun. Your support means the world to me. So what's the series about? Let me just read off the back, because in the beginning of the synopsis of each of these books, there's the paragraph that applies to the whole series in general, and it goes like this. Are you ready? They came to Earth. Pestilence, war, famine, death. Four horsemen riding their screaming steeds, racing to the corners of the world. Four horsemen with the power to destroy all of humanity. They came to Earth, and they came to end us all. The drama, I love it. But that's basically what the series is about. Each of these horsemen come down to kill human beings up until they face a challenge. The challenge being a person, a human being, a woman. So this is about the first horseman, Pestilence the Conqueror, who's going around spreading plague and killing everyone. Our main character over here, Sarah, she's a first responder, a firefighter, and she knows in her heart that the only way she can save the people she loves is if she takes down Pestilence herself. There's only one problem. No one told her Pestilence can't be killed. So Pestilence takes Sarah prisoner, determined to make her suffer, and that is where the story starts.
Honestly, take a shot every single time this girl says horseman or horsemen. You will be having the time of your life. I guarantee it.
I know I look a little rough. I know this is a different setting than you're used to. But let's talk about Pestilence because I have finished it and I have a lot to say. Okay, so let's start with the fact that I did not enjoy the writing style whatsoever. I don't know if it's a personal preference thing. The main character was not for me. I found her oddly annoying at times, and I did not enjoy being in her head because this whole story is told through her point of view. And while there were really good moments, there were times where I genuinely found her sass and her wit a little weird. Again, I'm conflicted about whether it's a writing thing or whether it's a character choice. You know what I mean? If you do, you do. Like, you'd get explanations and reactions that the character is having within brackets to stuff she herself is saying. I don't know how to explain it. I'm just gonna show you like an example of it. Okay, look at that. Can you see that? I don't know if I've angled you right, but she's going on about something, right? And then all of a sudden there's stuff going on in brackets. Where you look is your concern. He steps up to the fire, and seriously, I can't even stress how hard it is not to look there. Really, really hard. And then in brackets, bet the horseman wouldn't get that joke. It was so unnecessary. I don't even know if you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you here. Okay, next example, right? My words are punctuated by the steady clop clop of Pestilence's horse, whom I've secretly named Trixie Skills. I'm pretty sure the steed is a male, bracket. Haven't checked because, unlike some people I know, respecting one's privacy is important, bracket close. But no matter. Why? It's so unnecessary. Just, we're not that dumb. We understand that you don't like certain things. We understand the subtext. We understand things. I just feel like it was. It kept throwing me off every single time we had a bracketed situation going on. I will say though, something about the events taking place in this book, the way they were described, it was really keeping me going in the beginning. I just feel like Laura Thalassa has these moments sprinkled into the story where she can paint such beautiful and gruesome pictures for us that really do something for your imagination. It's just so inconsistent because you witness that little bit of beautiful writing or like that little bit of imagery and something that evokes something in your mind, and then all of a sudden it's just gone. Where is the consistency? Also, just a side note, Sarah, the main character, yells pestilence while they're doing the deed. And I'm sorry, the way it cracked me up because she kept saying, and I yelled his name, but he doesn't have a name, so she's just been calling him Pestilence the whole book. It really just cracked me up when I read that. I found it really funny. The way this book ends, it's drama. It's a mic drop moment. The ending is so predictable because, well, you know which book is coming next. It's the Four Horsemen series. There's nothing about the ending of this book that's actually truly surprising, but the way it was done, it just made me giggle. It just made me excited. I liked it. I like that drama. I like that flair. Overall, what I'll say about Pestilence is I enjoyed the idea that she had for this book. I just did not vibe with the writing very much, which, well, it is what it is. I liked Pestilence, like I mentioned before. I think he's adorable. I mean, the man is archaic beyond belief and says some really insane things, but he's adorable and we like that. But yeah, with that, Pestilence is done. I'm debating between a 2.5 stars or a 3 stars. Like I said, I'm not really sure how I feel about Laura Thalassa's writing just yet. I think it will be made more clear once I read the next few books. I'm really curious about how the plot goes forward with the other brothers, and I'm curious to see what happens with the writing style in the next few books. Next up, we have War. The story starts off in Jerusalem, which is Miriam, our main character's home. And War, with his traitorous army, are burning up houses, killing people. Everything she's ever known is basically turning to ash. And then all of a sudden, Miriam catches the eye of the warlord himself. War corners her and suddenly proclaims that she is his heaven sent wife and takes her back to camp with him. War refuses to let Miriam go, and she's forced to be by his side, watching the world helplessly burn around her. She must make the ultimate choice: surrender to War and watch humankind fall, or sacrifice everything to stop him. Great. Let's read War. I am about 190 pages into War, and like I told you before, I'm definitely enjoying the writing so much more. And I just realized why. There are no brackets. Laura Thalassa is not doing brackets in this one, and it's made a whole world of difference for me. I have actually enjoying the writing so much more in this. I mean, it's not revolutionary, but it's not as annoying as it was, and it's not setting me off the way it was in Pestilence. In terms of characters themselves, they're definitely not copy pasted from Pestilence, which I was a little worried might happen. These characters have their own unique personalities and their own way of, doing things which is different from Sarah and Pestilence in the first book. In Pestilence, his journey from indifference to love is what changed everything and helped him give humanity another chance. So in this one, it's going to be interesting to see that character arc for War, because he's already sort of starting from a place of kindness and gentleness, at least when it comes to Miriam. Okay, guys, you have to listen to this. This is from the Epilogue of War, and no, it's not really a spoiler because, well, we know which books come after War. The first horseman staggers as the truth hits him. It's happening again. The second horseman wakes from sleep with a sharp inhalation. They will die of hunger. And in a crypt of his own making, an unearthly creature stirs. His fingers flex around his scythe. His bronze armor rustles as he moves. His green eyes open and he draws his first breath in many long years. And then he smiles. I'm living! I am living! This is so dramatic. I love it. I finished War. Let's talk about it. The writing was much better. Like I said, I enjoyed it so much more than the first book. We got rid of the brackets. I could actually enjoy the main character's thoughts without cringing every few minutes, which is great. To be fair, Miriam and War as a pairing were really cute at times, and they had their special sweet moments. War has been simping since day one. Kind of like as much as the entity War could simp, I guess. But I have to say, something about their chemistry, I felt like it was missing something at certain points. I can't pinpoint exactly what. If I were to compare it with Sarah and Pestilence, I don't know, their pairing had some sort of electricity that War and Miriam didn't always have. I felt like it wasn't consistent. Something was off. I'm not explaining it very well. And also there were times where I didn't really understand the MC's motivations very well. This is how I'll explain it. If this whole situation was an equation, then some part of it felt unbalanced to me. But I will give it to Laura Thalassa. Even when nothing really was happening in the story, it still went by quite fast and the read was super easy and quick. It never really felt like it was dragging as such. We had our moments of fun and conflict and grief and romance, and it wasn't a bad read. Currently, I'm feeling 3 stars for War. So, yeah, on to the next one. The third installment in the Four Horsemen series is Famine. Anna da Silva always assumed she'd die young, but she never expected it to be at the hands of the haunting immortal who spared her life years ago, Famine. But if the horseman remembers her, he must not care, for when she does come face to face with him for the second time in her life, she's stabbed and left for dead. Only she doesn't quite die. And that's where the story begins. I don't want to say any more. I think it's best if we just dive right in with what little we got. Okay, I'm only 70 pages into Famine, but I'm already so invested. I'm so surprised and so excited. The premise is very much my style. I'm loving the connection and chemistry already, which we love. The writing is also much improved from first book. I'm very excited for this. To the land. Welcome to the land of the living. Death has received a warm welcome, shall I say. What just happened? Oh my god, that ending though. I'm stressed. I need to know what happens next. I do not know how I am going to end up liking death after those last few chapters. I'm just saying, I think death is the horseman that I just will not like. I might be wrong though, because I say that in the beginning of every book, and it changes. Oh my god, I finished Famine! Hi! Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go sleep. Yeah. I'm gonna go sleep and think about Famine and dream about Famine. And I'm gonna collect my thoughts and get back to you tomorrow. I'm losing it a little bit. Can you tell? That ending though. Oh, this is fun. This was fun. Like, this was what I wanted from the very beginning of this series. Hi. It's the next night. Things happened, I got busy, I had errands to run, but it doesn't matter because I'm here now and I want to talk about Famine. Shall we talk about Famine? Let's talk about Famine, right? I just love saying the word famine so much. Okay, never mind me. The first thing I need to address, or the first thing I'm gonna say, is just damn. Humans did Famine so dirty. I thought it was bad with Pestilence. No. Famine had it much worse for a lot longer, for years. Man was tortured for years. To be honest, if I was in his shoes, I would have killed off humanity a lot quicker. But then again, if I was in his shoes, I don't even know how I would have survived one day. So I get where he was coming from. He liked killing human beings, he enjoyed it, he wanted to do it. It was a personal vengeance, which is something that's completely different from what we have seen with Pestilence and War. They did what they did because of, like, it's God's task, humanity has lost its way, you guys need basically a reset, so we're gonna wipe you out. But Pestilence's motives were different, they were more personal, and I felt like it added so much more to the story. While we're on the topic of human cruelty, I might as well say, I think that's one of the reasons why Famine and Anna work well as a pairing, because both of them have experienced the worst humanity has to offer. From the very beginning of this book, we can tell that Anna is very aware of how cruel human beings can be and the things that they do. And while we did explore this topic a little bit in War with Miriam, because she was raised in a war torn country, I feel like it was more tangible with Anna in Famine. It could be because of her experiences, like losing her parents, her hardships as a child, being abused, working as a sex worker. Also, the fact that she was literally born in the era of the Horsemen. Like, she does not know what the world looked like before the apocalypse started. So, yeah, I'm not really sure why, but that exploration was a lot more clearer in Famine for me. And to be completely honest, Famine and Anna are my favorite pairing so far. I don't know what Death and his partner have to offer for us, but I genuinely don't know how they're gonna top it, because I love the banter. I love the way they tease each other, especially Anna with Famine in the first half of the book. And what I really liked was that the main characters had shared history that informed the happenings in this book. And that really built up the chemistry for me. It's literally what got me so excited within the first 70 pages. Let me also quickly say this book has my favorite main character in the series so far. I really liked Anna. She's just so funny and confident, and it's really fun seeing the story unfold from her perspective. I also really like how confident she is about her body and enjoying sex and her capabilities as a sex worker. Finally, the last thing I'll say is the ending. Now, after War and Pestilence, I was sort of expecting a certain type of ending for Famine as well. It just made sense. There was a pattern that was being established. But no. The ending for this completely took me by surprise. The fourth horseman, which is death, has been set up so differently than all of his brothers, which kind of makes sense because he is the final horseman. He's the big bad, the final boss. Like, even when he's mentioned in the three books so far, it's always been a case of him being more powerful or more of an asshole or more difficult to deal with or just more dangerous. But yes, the pattern has been broken, and I'm actually glad that it didn't end the way that I was expecting it to end. I think Famine is going to be a 3.75 out of 5 stars for me, which is the highest rating this series has gotten from me so far. That's not too bad. Anyway, let's see what Death has to offer. The day Death comes to Temple, Georgia, and kills everyone in one fell swoop, the last thing he expects to see is one woman left alive and standing. But Lazarus Gaumond has an extraordinary gift. She cannot be killed. Not by humans, not by the elements, and not by Death himself. When Lazarus crosses paths with the three other horsemen, an unthinkable situation leads to a terrible deal. Seduce Death, save the world. The end is here. Humankind is set to perish, and not even the other horsemen can stop Death from fulfilling his final task. Only Lazarus can. Nah. Girly Lazarus literally pulled out the divine move. If you watch Teen Wolf, you know what I'm talking about. The Nogitsune season. Come closer. I'll tell you a secret. God is a woman. And no, I'm not quoting Ariana Grande here. That is literally part of this story. That's the only spoiler I'll give you. I have finished Death, which is the final book in the Four Horsemen series. Can we just acknowledge the fact that I've read the whole series now? Oh my god, it feels like this has been going on forever. I think Lazarus was a nice main character. I didn't mind seeing the story unfold through her point of view. My only problem with her, and I guess this applies to the whole story in general, is there's a particular plot point that happens around the first or second part of this book, um which changes her objective, or like her main purpose in life after her face off with Death. I'm not gonna say exactly what it is because it is a spoiler. All I'm gonna say is I would have liked that particular aspect of the story to be more, just more. I didn't feel very connected, and I felt like it was such a huge deal, but it felt sort of brushed under the rug. We kept being told that it's a big deal, and factually speaking, it is a big deal because it changes a lot for the main character. I didn't feel it, and I really would have liked to feel it. For me personally, if I'd had that point of connection to the story as well, this would have easily been a much more enriched reading experience. So yeah, Lazarus's connection to that whole ordeal didn't feel as explored as it could have been. But also, how long would you have made this book? It's already 500 something pages. I understand why you wouldn't want to push it further because it's basically just the same story as the past three stories. Horseman meets woman, woman changes everything for Horseman, conflict, conflict, conflict. Oh, I might be falling in love with him. You know, it's basically the same thing. You can't really stretch it out anymore. Death as a horseman, unlike what I predicted, I didn't hate him. He was not exactly what I expected from Death, you know, like the final horseman. As a pairing, Lazarus and Death weren't so bad, especially with that symbolism that kept coming up in the story about life and death being an eternal embrace. My favorite part in this whole book is just seeing all the horsemen together. It was just so much fun. The dynamics were more clearly established. All of the brothers talked about each other in their own respective books, but they never really had any contact in the way they did in this book. Overall, it feels very much on par with the rest of the series in terms of the ratings. I'm not sure Death can beat Famine for me. That's 3 stars from Khushi Kishore. And that's a wrap, my friends. We have finished the Four Horsemen series by Laura Thalassa. It was a decent time. I had some fun. I had some frustrations. Overall, not a bad experience. The one quote I will take away from this whole series, and one I would like to share with you, is nothing is quite as tenacious as a human woman. I agree. I completely, wholeheartedly agree. Overall, what do I have to say about the series? It does get quite repetitive if you read them back to back to back, because it's essentially the same story arc again and again. Horseman comes to destroy the world, meets a woman who God has either told him not to kill or like somehow pointed out that she's special, and this woman in turn teaches him something that he really needs to learn. For Pestilence, it was mercy. For War, it was surrender. For Famine, it was forgiveness. And for Death, it is how to be alive. And this is all ultimately so that humanity, or whatever is left of humanity after all the damage each of the horsemen have done, have a chance at redemption. This is definitely not a series that goes up in my 5 stars, oh my god, I worship this book and this story and I would die for these characters kind of level. But you know, not all books have to go up on that throne, on that shrine. Sometimes books you read will belong to that middle realm of enjoyable, may or may not come back to it or think of it in the future. Not life-changing, but fun. So decide how you want to read it. I personally, I got through all of them just fine and I'm okay. I don't regret it or anything, but just for your enjoyment and to heighten your enjoyment, I would say give it a break between each of these. I would recommend this series to anyone who is looking to read something quick and easy in the dark fantasy realm of things. Just something very tropey and fun. If you like spice, then that's definitely in here too. I would give you the green light for that. But yeah, that is the end of this vlog, the end of this particular journey. A very quick reminder that it's perfectly fine if you absolutely love this series or if you absolutely hate this series. Everybody enjoys different things, and as long as you're reading and you're happy, isn't that all that matters? I will say my classic, please do reach out if you have read this series. Tell me what you thought about it. Oh my god, I'm just twisting away from everyone. Tell me what you've been up to in life in general. I hopefully will give you a more detailed update on life in one of the upcoming videos after this. Thank you so much for clicking on this video, for staying up until now if you have. You are absolute gems and your support means the world to me. Leave a comment down below, chat with me, click that notification bell. You know what needs to be done. So I'm gonna say sayonara now. I'm gonna say stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, and I will see you very soon in the next one.